What a great topic. What a great conversation. Because, I mean, we are feeling our way forward here. And, Luke, if Luke were in this, he'd be talking about confessionalism. Because in many ways, that's what we're talking about in terms of, okay, we need things outside of ourselves in order to know how to navigate into the future. And the way we look for things outside of ourselves, we look for things in the past that seemed foundational. Now, when we started and talked about, even the word we're using here comes out of the fundamentalist modernist debate, when the night you've got Darwin coming forward and all of this technology moving forward, you're getting to peak modernity. And so Christian leaders say, and you're right, it was an ecumenical movement, which is something that's forgotten. Okay, let's hold these things in common. And part of the function of writing and language is that we can sort of set a stake in the ground in an immaterial imaginary. And we will use those stakes in the ground to chart our way forward. And one might ask at this point, when you look back at the beginning of the 20th century, now at the beginning of the 21st century, who did better, the mainline or the fundamentalists? And what's really interesting is that I just read a Ryan Burge piece, and I posted it on Voices. Yeah, anybody can get on Voices, but I warn you, it's a scary place. As Michael will attest. But
you have to have a Dutch last name for anybody to read your.
That's right. It's very exclusive. So you might want to get a Gmail account with a
Van Hoozelwoozle
or a Vander in it.
Van Skankenstein.
Van Skankenstein. There you go. But one of the things, so Ryan Burge, of course, his church closed, and now he's a full-time Substacker. Can't imagine why I would have any interest in his career trajectory. But one of the things that's interesting is he's studied the mainline, and he just posted a piece that basically said, yeah, the main line's collapse is about as bad as you can imagine. But there's a tiny sliver of young people in the main line. And you know what? This should surprise none of us, knowing the most famous mainliners sort of in this Christian YouTube space.
Are they conservative?
They're conservative. And you just think about that. And it's just like...
It's all redeemed Zoomer.
Yeah, having Aaron Wrenn sort of point to the main line and say, well, that's the way it should have been. It's kind of like, yeah, the buildings are pretty, but redeemed Zoomer might not have such a bad strategy because the young inherit the earth, at least for a little while.
Yeah, but what redeemed Zoomer does not know is what it's like to try and bring your children to a mainline church.
Yep.
That's something that I've tried and he hasn't.
Yep.
It is way different when you think about trying to instill moral values and at some point sexual values and connect them to a sexual ecosystem. Are you really going to be able to turn up your nose at that sermon that you didn't like, or what the Sunday school teacher is teaching your kids in Sunday school? It's easy to do that when you're 22 and a bachelor. It is way different than when you're 36 and you've got 4 kids in that place. And redeemed Zoomer knows nothing of what he speaks with this regard. And I will, oh my goodness, I could lay into him if I wanted to. Because we had this idea before he had his driver's license. Like I've said before, you can go back on the Bridges of Meaning Discord server, and me, Bethel, and Tripp had this whole thing mapped out probably while redeemed Zoomer was in middle school. And that, oh my goodness. Anyway. Someone needs to let me loose on that punk sometime.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.